Stricto. I went from strict to stricto. Strict, understand? Only person I owe is myself. Stricto. Yes, people. Welcome back to the channel. Big Stricto here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, whatever it is that these other YouTubers tell you to do, but do it for me. Does this special guest need any introduction? The man, as you can see over there, to my right or left, I don't know which side this thing is showing it, but I'm sure you can see him there grinning, top of the table. Everything seems to be going his way. He's witnessed his team produce multiple records, centurions. I want to say threesome, but
We use the word treble. We use the word treble in Manchester. Treble. Threesomes are, you know what I mean? That's for Toby and them men in the Blue Oyster Bar, man.
The treble. What else? What else have you lot achieved? To be fair, I've lost count.
4 mid-balls, 4 in a row.
4 in a row.
You know what I mean?
Tell me for start. Let's even start. Big Steve.
Yes,
welcome to Stricto's lobby, Stricto's den, the Stricto Strict show. Welcome aboard. But listen, I think I've lost count or probably lost interest, man. You lot seem to be doing every and anything that is impossible to do. How was it going? How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's great. Listen, it's brilliant. It's not so brilliant for everybody else. I think people are getting a bit annoyed with it, and that Man City seem to do it. But you've got to take a step back and realise how good the team is and how good Pep Guardiola is. And it's the Pep factor for me, you know what I mean, to keep this team motivated every season, even when we lose big players. And then all of a sudden, we as City fans even look at it and think, have we replaced that player? Is it going to be the season we drop off? And then for some magical reason, he seems to find that last push and we go away and we nick it. And you know what I mean? You can't even look at other teams and say they've had bad seasons. You know what I mean? They've had great seasons, but it's just the levels that Pep gets his team to. It's unbelievable. And like you say, hopefully this season we can do it again and it'd be 5 in a row.
That is crazy. I mean, you're talking about some big teams in the Premier League. You talk about Arsenal, Liverpool, United, Chelsea. You know, all these big teams, and you're here talking about making it 5 in a row. That is crazy. So I know you said obviously is the Pep factor. Is it just truly just only Pep? So you're saying when Pep goes, all of this goes?
I think Pep's a massive part of it. I mean, it's the motivation. I don't think people realise how hard it is to keep a group of players motivated after you win everything. Yeah. We won the treble, then we won the Super Cup, then we won the World Club Cup, 5 trophies. Going into the season after, last season we looked tired. We played maximum amount of games. Arsenal had signed Declan Rice. You started the season well, and we was bumbling along a little bit. And he kept it going, but he saves it till the end. I always say to teams, you have to finish Manchester City off yourself. You have to finish us off. I said last season on the Big Six show, Arsenal lost the league at the Etihad. And the Arsenal fans went mad. They didn't listen to what I was saying. They went crazy because they said, no, we lost it against Aston Villa. I said, you didn't. You lost it at the Etihad because the last 10 games of the season, if you come to the Etihad and beat Manchester City, it's a huge psychological blow for us because you beat us, you're pushing us 3 points back. And B, the boost that would have given Arsenal and the whole camp, they would have been untouchable. I believe you go on and win the league because when you played us at the Etihad, I'll admit it now, we were a bit worried because we wasn't playing well at all, and we were conceding goals, and we looked rocky. We were patching the team up, and I thought if Arsenal came to the Etihad and believed in themselves, I think you would have beat us. I honestly do. So when I seen them celebrating the draw, I thought, okay, that's fine. But I thought, that ain't enough. You've not pushed us further away. We're on your tails now. That draw is going to come back and bite them on the arse. And then you shot yourself in the foot again against Villa. But people don't understand what I was saying. Some people do because they messaged me afterwards and said, I understand what you're saying, Steve. And then Paul Scholes on the overlap said the same thing, randomly just came out with it and said, I've been in a title winning team, and the boost it gives you if you go to your rivals and win on that last run is unbelievable. And I
It-
just believe that's what Arsenal are lacking. I feel like City have got that in abundance. I feel you've got the team to win the league. I do. I've said that from 2 seasons. I feel like I can look at the Arsenal team now and think it's a title winning team. But I just feel like there's that last bit of mentality at the end when the pressure gets a bit wild, when teams are coming to the Emirates fighting for their lives or trying to survive or trying to get into Europe. And I feel like there's always a slip up there. And that's what I think is the only thing Arsenal need to cut out.
I mean, I think for me at the time, I thought a draw at a draw at your ground at Etihad. I thought a draw was good enough, and I'll tell you why I think majority of the fans would have probably agreed with that. Is I think you have to have a level of honesty and understanding to believe whenever we went down the Etihad, we was dropped. I think the season before that was it what 4-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was probably due to probably a lack of that mentality and a lack of quality. I remember like we had Saliba missing for that. And we had Rob Holding actually, who was probably the guy who I think he scored if my memory
Yeah, it did. It did.
serves me right. And I think it was a lack of quality and a lack of mentality, like I said. So then when we go into that game, and I think if you looked how it played out, I think we might have were we drawing with you guys or maybe a point. It was really close, but I didn't
Yeah,
think I didn't
close.
think a win was paramount. I think it was paramount not to lose and sort of kind of tie it around on other games. And I suppose now we'll take in hindsight that maybe we should have approached the game a bit different. We
It's just a boost that I don't think your players believe. If we get to this season now and there's 10 games to go and there's 1 point in it, I don't think your players believe you can do it. I
you
don't
don't
think
think so.
no, no. Because don't forget you finished second twice. You've been leading for the majority of the season. You've been caught twice. That's a psychological issue. If you don't break that this season, for me, Arsenal are finished. They're
I think
finished.
no, I think no, I disagree there. I think um if you look at last season, for example, the margins were really, really close. Were really, really tight. Like you could even argue if if Son had scored that goal. Yeah, I mean, but we're talking about ifs. If Son would have scored that goal, if Chris Woods would have taken his chances, if Brighton. To be fair, you lot smacked them, but I believe it's tight. It's tight margins. I think we learned from the season before. I know Villa was a blip because we had so many chances in that game,
That's
and
it, yeah.
and didn't take them. I don't think it's something necessarily City done per se, more as you depend. There's gonna be times in a title race where you might depend on other teams. You gotta do what you gotta do, but let's
It's the,
not
it's
like.
the psychological thing though that every day your players are coming in training and they're getting in the canteen and they're looking at Sky Sports News and that the top of the table, but there's that big blue shark's just sat behind them and it ain't going
I mean,
away. That's
and
the problem.
last season we definitely, in terms of mentality, we took it to the last day. That's all I can say in terms of the mentality. Anything could have really happened on the last day.
Liverpool did that as well. They took it to the last day on 98 points and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden they had a massive drop off when players started to get deflated and think we can't win. We can't go through another season like
And
this.
you was 2-0 down, were you, against Villa, I believe, yeah? You was 2.
Yeah, yeah, and this is what I'm saying. But I feel like if Arsenal don't do it this season,
Mm,
then to try and motivate everybody again
mm.
and try and then if people are going to be looking at the manager. For me, I think you got to keep him, but I feel like other people, your fan base is the most restless fan base in the world, and I think how many more times finishing second are they going to allow before they start getting a bit crazy again?
I mean, for us, I think it's more than just even finishing second. I think it's time he starts winning stuff. I'm definitely on the Arteta in camp. I would never get rid of him. at this moment, because I've said many and many a times, and other fans have attacked me. I've said, for me, he's united the fan base for majority of us. Yeah, there's stuff that I suppose us match going fans see that maybe the ones who don't get a chance to go to games probably see. You know, like the toxicity in terms of the fans who actually are at the game is non-existent. We are no longer toxic. We go a goal down. It it doesn't matter who we go down against. The fan base is united. Everyone gets behind the team. You know, everyone starts. In fact, we sometimes often celebrate going behind, like we've scored the way we. You know what I'm saying? Like those things he has fixed, and those things aren't things people see on TV. And unless you're there, you get to experience how everyone believe and trust in the manager. And it also transcends back onto the pitch, because the players can see, and then the players is listen. It's not coincidence how our away record has massively improved,
Oh yeah, yeah.
massively improved, and that's, those are the tight margins of when the fans are behind you. You know, it's not coincidence. But before Arteta got his shit together, bro, we got to go down. Everyone's fucking tearing their hair down, like everyone's shouting, everyone's fucked off. No one's interested anymore. You know, so for me, I think fans got to see. And I know it sounds cliche, but there is definitely a process. You know, it's not just a word. It's not just a saying.
The thing is, as well, yeah, I was the one that backed Arteta on the Big Six show when you got him. And they all said, oh, you wouldn't have him at City and you're taking the piss and Big Steve's taking the piss. And I backed him because I spoke to some of the players at City and they were sad to see him leave and they said he was really good coach. And then they were like, I said, you've got to keep with it because Arsenal were chopping and changing. It was a mess. The fans were restless. It was just going nowhere. It was toxic. You need a level of calm. I believe you've got that. But I'll tell you something, right? The season we won the treble, I noticed, I've been going to City over nearly 40 years, and I noticed this togetherness with the players and the fans. And I knew something was going to happen from the first couple of games of the season. It felt special. And last season, after the treble, the connection wasn't there. It was there, but not the same. But this season, it's back. Like I can feel it. And I know that might sound weird and people might think, oh, he's talking shit. But you feel an energy when you go in a football ground. You feel it. You feel it in your chest. And like every game you go away, you feel a bit like invincible and like we're going to get it done. And you don't
Wait,
really.
wait, wait, you don't know what invincible feels like.
Yeah, you
Calm
don't.
down, Steve.
I'm going to talk about that in a minute, mate. But like I say, you feel this feeling, yeah? And I feel like we've got it back. I feel like we look refreshed. I feel like the team looks freshened up. I feel like Pep looks different. And I feel like the signing of Ilkay Gundogan to come back on a free has calmed that Rodri situation down a bit, where we were panicking that when Rodri didn't play, we were different. But Ilkay just comes in now and takes it over. But I want to talk about this invincible thing, yeah, because you know Turkish is my good friend and he's my boss on the Big Six and that. But I'm really, really worried about his mental health at the minute because I've done a couple of videos with him where he said he wouldn't swap the Invincible season for the treble. He wouldn't swap the Invincibles for 4 Premier Leagues in a row. And I think he's lost the plot, mate. I really do. You know what I mean? And then he was trying to down talk the Champions League trophy because it's silver and you've got a little gold thing. And I'm like, this guy's lost it, mate. He's lost it. And then he was trying to say, you know, he's never experienced winning the Champions League, but he was trying to play it down. What do you think? Do you think would you swap the Invincible trophy for the treble?
Let's talk about trademarks. Yeah, let's talk about trademarks. Yeah, that is the only trademark we've got.
This is what I'm saying, man. It's
with
like,
all, with
listen,
all
it's
respect, Turkish is my guy, and Turkish, and I often agree with him. But you know what? If jokes aside, I think most fan bases will have everything City is well, you're the target, you're the pinnacle right now.
Hmm.
You know, you've got everything and you're doing it with style and almost ease. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you've got the Champions League. Everyone said that's what you needed to become a big club. You've done that, especially your neighbors. Oh, you need to win back to back. Then you've done that. You've done the Centurion. Then you went outside of Europe. You won the super. You won the Super Cup. You've done everything
Everything,
every fan base and every club would
everything.
want. I get what Turkish is saying because it is the only trademark that we've got. But in reality, give us everything City have, or even half of it. We'll take it. Like you said, we
Listen,
are
you did the
we are
feeling,
starving, bro. We
feeling,
are
yeah,
starving.
the feeling. If you would stand outside Arsenal Stadium and that open top bus came down the road and you had Saliba hanging on one side with the Champions League
Oh,
and you had Odegaard with the FA Cup and
Bono.
you had Ben White with the Premier League hanging off the front, there'd be no better feeling in your life than seeing that. And like you say, I've seen it, and it's unbelievable. And I played down the Champions League because City didn't have a good relationship with the Champions League. We always booed the anthem. We felt like UEFA was on us all the time. But then when we started getting to them later rounds, Real Madrid smashed them 4-0.
Mm.
And then Bayern Munich, and then we got to the final. We had United on the Saturday. You imagine having Spurs on the Saturday in the FA Cup final, and then flying out the day after to the Champions League final to win a treble. And in Manchester, we've had that treble rammed down our throat since '99. They won the treble in '99. We won the Division Two playoff final, and that
I
is how
mean,
mad it is. So
that's what I'm saying. Like the we are impatient, but to have half of what you've had in the last couple of years.
do you feel
Actually, you know
like,
what,
do
Steve?
you feel like
I,
Arteta needs to win some Carabao Cups and that?
um, I think we need silverware. I think we need silverware just to sort of quieten the
Keep
half of the other fan base that are sort of talking a bit too much. But I also feel whatever Arteta does, other than deliver the Premier League or the Champions League, I don't think they particularly care. But I think at least he can sort of have that behind him and get that monkey off his back. But do you know what? I saw something you said the other day. Saying City are a bigger club than Arsenal. Let's talk about that quickly before we move on to the weekend's fixture. Do you believe City
yeah,
are a bigger club than Arsenal?
yeah, 100%.
You believe players want to come to play for City because City are a bigger club?
Yeah,
You
100%.
believe you believe um
Don't forget, you had Arsene Wenger, mate. We were taking your players then. We took Adebayor, we took Samir Nasri, we took Kolo Toure, we took Gael Clichy. If he was bigger than us, why did he come to Man City? They're not
respect
all money grabbers.
respectfully, those players weren't our top players.
At the time, they was. Samir
Um,
Nasri was.
maybe with the exception of Samir Nasri, but
Bakary Sagna.
Sagna was the end of his career. You also took
He was dying to keep him, mate. You offered him a contract, he turned it down.
no, 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 no. We was in a bad place. I don't think that's the place to look at. We sold Van P to United. We was as a club and in a structure, we was in a bad place. Players running down their contracts. Like I don't think that is the sign there. I think if you look at, I remember one time, what's his name now? The Barcelona, when Barcelona played you guys. I think was it what's the guy now? He's in jail now, Brazilian brother. And he said he'd never heard of Man City. He thought they was gonna play United.
Yeah,
Alvarez,
I won't read into things like
no,
that,
no, no.
mate.
I think now we got to read into it because
When was that? What year was that?
this was what 2013,
Yeah, it's 2024 now, mate. There's a lot happened since then.
2015. So it was recent in my memory,
It's,
but I,
um,
but I never
it's
forget things like that. I never forget things like that. And also you got to remember, Steve. Yeah, another thing. We've never been relegated from the Premier League.
means now. Means now. Man United's been
No, no, but I'm
relegated.
talking
Man
about.
United have been
You want to
relegated.
talk about being bigger than us?
Man United have been relegated and they're bigger than you.
Premier League, Premier League. This competition's been running for 30 years. How many times? How many times you been relegated?
Right, we'll flip it on the head. If you want to talk about Premier Leagues, yeah, how many Premier Leagues have you won and how many Premier Leagues have we won?
Fair, fair. I give you that.
So
But I
forget
feel no,
relegation.
no. I
Relegation
give you.
doesn't
I
matter,
give you
mate.
that. I give you
We've
that.
been
But we're
relegated.
looking at. We
We've
can't
been
forget
relegated, but we've
relegation.
won more Premier Leagues than you.
I give you that. But you've also been relegated more times than us. Let's flip it back.
No
Big
problem.
big clubs just don't get relegated from from the. I mean, can you imagine Real Madrid being relegated from Spain? Can you imagine? Can you imagine Bayern Munich being relegated
But
from the
is that what
Bundesliga?
we're judging a big club on relegation? Because
Of
Man
course,
United's been relegated.
United. I'm talking about the Premier League era and this era that we're in. So I think you always that blotch there is against you, and
Okay,
that cannot be erased.
okay. So we've got a blot in the Premier League era because we were relegated.
How many
Okay,
times? How many times?
a few. But listen,
You've been relegated almost
hold
more
on.
time. Go on.
Right. So let's balance it up then. So we put the blot because we relegated on this side. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then on this side, we've won more Premier Leagues than you. So that carries more weight than being relegated because we've won. You want to talk about the Premier League, but we've won it more times than you. Yeah. Then we put the Champions League.
And also
Then
been
we put the
relegated as
treble.
many times as we've
Then
won
we
it.
put the Centurions. Then we put the four in a row. Then we put all the records, the undefeated records and all that. We pile all this up and you see this side here is big. Yeah. This side is not so big no more. So, in my opinion, the unique things in the Premier League history, the unique things that have been done, you've got your Invincibles. Okay, we give you that. We've got 4 or 5 different things that nobody's done ever.
And I'm including relegation to it.
Yeah, but
That's
that
that.
doesn't. So does that? So because we
Yes,
got
it does.
relegated,
Yes, it
no. But
does.
I think that's a great achievement. Imagine getting relegated and coming back and winning more Premier Leagues than a team that's never been relegated.
I mean, it's still a blotch. It doesn't make you bigger than my
It's
team.
not a blotch. It's
It's a
not a
big.
blotch.
It's a big blotch. I don't understand how you
It's
can't say.
character building, mate. It just shows you we can come back.
I
Do you
mean,
imagine
let's
if you just imagine if you got relegated? Can you imagine your fan base? You'd have
never
about
happen.
12,000 there.
Could never happen. Could
You'd have
never
about
happen.
12,000 there because you
Could
wouldn't be
never
able to handle
happen.
it.
Could
You're having
never
a
happen.
meltdown now when you're sixth and fourth and third.
Could never happen, Steve. Could
Gone.
never
You'd
in
all
a
be
million
you'd all
years.
you lot would all be at Tottenham Stadium with your little white shirts on, singing "Oh, when the Spurs."
Shut
Yeah,
up.
you and Robbie. Robbie'd be at Luton. Robbie'd be at Luton. Come on, Luton. Come on, Luton. Don't start like you come, mate. I tell you, you wouldn't be able to handle it, man.
Oh, no. Hey, that's funny. That never happened. But listen, moving on, man. We obviously your last game against Brentford. They've sort of recently become sort of your bogey team at the Etihad, haven't they?
Played well,
And
mate. Played well.
they played very well. I watched that game. I think obviously that could have been tricky. That could have really been tricky. As for us as well, we've obviously had to play Spurs, our local rivals, just neighbors, not rivals,
Yeah, they're terrible,
neighbors.
mate. They were
Yeah,
terrible. Did the watch along, man. They were. I thought Spurs might have got into you a little bit, but they were terrible. And Arsenal played really well. I thought you defended really well. I feel like you have got the best defense in probably Europe.
yes,
I do feel that. I feel like if you get a goal in front, it's a bit like the old Arsenal. I feel like you can shut up shop if you need to,
yeah.
and I just feel like there's something lacking up top for me. I just feel you're not as sharp or scary up top than what you need to be. I mean, we've got the big man, and he's frightening at the minute. But if we lose him, uh, we that tech for me, that's 30%, 40% of our team gone because at the minute we've scored 11 goals this season. He's scored 9.
Do you know what's crazy? I was looking at Elos's website and I was looking at your players and your squad list. You know they do it in sections, so they've got the goalkeeper, it's got
Yeah,
defenders, midfielders, forward, and you've only got one forward.
yeah, we have. Yeah,
And I know obviously he's, like you said, he's what 30, he adds that extra 30% or take him out, you've lost 40% of what you guys
yeah. Why not?
do.
If he gets injured, we play false 9. So Grealish will play there, Foden will play there, Bernardo will play there, Savino will play there. He'll rotate it. We did it for 2 years when Kun Aguero left and we won the league. It's not a problem, but it's still a bit of a worry as a City fan because Haaland's so. Last season he was tired. He was tired. He wasn't at the races. We get that. This season he's improved his game. Where last season every time one of the players got the ball in the midfield, he made a run. And in every game, he'd make 10 or 12 runs, he'd never be found. So he's getting frustrated with himself. What I believe has happened now is Pep's pulled him to one side and said, listen, if Rodri gets the ball in midfield, no point making a run. Rodri can't play that ball.
Mm,
If Rico Lewis comes into midfield, don't make the run. He's not
mm,
going to find you with it. Only make the run if people like Kevin De Bruyne,
yeah.
Ilkay Gundogan, or Kovacic, or someone on the edge of the box can get the ball. They can find the pass. bit like Thierry Henry at Arsenal. I read something about he said years ago and it stuck out. He said he was doing the same thing. He was making these runs, and Wenger pulled him and said, "Look, Freddie Lundberg ain't going to find
I'm gonna
that
find
pass.
you. Yeah.
Dennis Bergkamp will run wherever you want. You'll be found." And I feel that's what happened with Haaland. And now, if you watch him, he won't touch the ball for 20 minutes, and then bang, he's in. It's a goal. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Listen. Not every team possesses that sort of firepower. You've got arguably one of the best goal scorers of his generation. We don't have that, but what we do have, we're managing with what we have. We seem to, you know, to be ticking along nicely. We've got Havertz, of course. You can't really mention them two in the same breath, but Havertz does what Havertz does. You know what I'm saying? His game isn't like Haaland, but he offers something different. He gets involved a lot more with our build up. He finds himself up top, and he scores. He scores important goals, kind of like Haaland, but just without the quantity or at times even the quality. But for this current way we play, it seems to work. So going into this game, how do you think this game is won for either team?
Um, I think if Arsenal's got to come to the Etihad, they've got to be brave. They've got to be brave. They're going to have to take risks and hope it pays off. I feel like um, City will be brave because they're at home. The crowd demands it, and I feel like Arsenal will get chances. But I think we just got to get through that defence. We've got to be clever. We've got to come up with something. The other year, we beat the midfield with Edison with a long ball to Haaland, and he was bringing it down on his chest into De Bruyne, and we were cutting your whole midfield out, and it worked. Last season, I think you were prepared for that, so we didn't do it. But I think it's going to be a cagey affair. I feel like um, both teams have got mutual respect for each other. But I just think we've got to do what we do and put it on Arsenal and get the job done. I just feel like Arsenal have to be different. Yeah, I mean, you look at the Tottenham game. Arsenal played well, they defended well, but they gave Tottenham two chances where Tottenham pressed them and they give the ball away. One to Solanke. If Haaland gets that on the edge of the box, it's a goal. 1,000,000%, he slams it in.
Mm,
And then there was one with Udogi, but I believe he was offside, but it was still a missed chance.
yeah.
Arsenal can't afford to do that against us, but I do think City will play um, a lot in your half. So I do believe your wingers like Martinelli, even Raheem Sterling, if he plays, could have a big say in it, getting in behind us. So I'm looking forward to the game. I always do. And it's a matchup of styles, Pep v Arteta.
Mm.
Are Arsenal going to come and defend again like last year and maybe take the point and be happy with that? Or are they going to come and think, we're better than Man City now, we can blow Man City away? But the midfield battle, Declan Rice, Rodri, etc. in the middle is very key. I feel like Spurs let Arsenal off the hook in the middle of the park at weekend. I feel like Thomas Partey, Jorginho, it wasn't as dynamic as or mobile as what City's going to be. And I feel like Spurs just didn't get in about them or rough them up. I felt Arsenal had a good, easy time in there. But I think City, especially if Kovacic and that plays, will try and drive through them gaps. Will put pressure on them, and I think City will win. I do. I think City will just do enough and get the win.
Okay. No, I think for me that Spurs game was an indicator to probably how we're gonna probably going into the game against you guys. We've had what three of the most difficult away games you could have to start the season with Villa. We came through that. Spurs, we came through that, and now we've got obviously a big test. I think we're obviously gonna concede possession and play, but I think the defense we've got, Rice coming back. I don't know what Odegaard's gonna be on, but I think you get if we start with our main 11, that's with Odegaard and Rice back, then I think we could be a lot more braver. I think we will
Mm,
defend well, and if we get a goal, I think it's going to be difficult for you to break down. And
you will.
I know I heard you say something the other day. The worst things teams do is score first against you guys, but I think with
Yeah,
us,
I don't. That wouldn't count for Arsenal because Arsenal's defense is so good. So if Arsenal scored first, I'd be more thinking shit, we've got it all to do now, because you are capable then of sitting behind and defending and moving side to side. Other teams, they score first, get giddy, and then I know that City's going to murder them. Like, it's like poking the bear. With Arsenal, if they score first, if we get caught cold, I believe the first 10 minutes, Man City, you can catch Man City cold. And I feel if you catch us cold early doors and then sit back, it could be a long day to try and sit back at the Etihad. But I think Arsenal could do that. I think they could.
And this is what I'm saying to people about Arteta. You know, just even to hear to hear City fans say stuff like, "We go a goal up, it could be a very long day for you guys." You know,
Mate, I've
like,
got a lot of respect for Arsenal, right? I'll tell you the truth. When I go on your channel and I go on Robbie's channel, I'll tell you the truth about Arsenal. If I go on channels where I'm getting disrespected and there's people in the comments calling me a wanker and fucking all sorts of shit, I'll just say what I need to say to rattle people to death, right? But anyone who supports Arsenal, that I believe is a true Arsenal fan who can have a football conversation, I give Arsenal a lot of respect. I always have done. I do think they're a
to
good
be fair,
side.
to be fair,
And
to be
but
fair, you have, and you call it out. You know, there's things you've said. I think the last time you was on the channel was a year or 2 years ago. You know, you did talk about the mentality thing, and and that did come to bite us.
if I wanted to earn money, Stricto, I could go
Mm.
on my TikTok every day, call Arsenal. I'll only do things for Arsenal when the title run comes. People take the piss, but I like to rattle a few. We did the Shark, yeah, rattled a few. We did the last year, did the North London Forever thing. The players were singing on the City players were singing it on the bus. My TikTok, yeah. So at the end of the
I
day,
didn't see that.
it's
That's
all
crazy.
banter, mate. It's all
That's
banter
crazy.
and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But I get it every day off Arsenal fans in my chat, right? But this is how, when I say the fragile, they give it massive, massive all season. The second something goes a bit wobbly, they disappear. I've just done a lad Bible with Turkish. The question was, can Arsenal win the Premier League? Turkey said no. That was after 3 games. Now, you tell me that that isn't a mentality issue on his behalf, that after 3 games and a draw against Brighton, he already thinks you can't win the Premier League. I would never say that. Even if we was
Reverse psychology, my friend.
3 points behind, with fucking a goal difference of fucking minus 10, I would still think we would beat someone 11-0 last game of the season and win it.
No, it's possible. It's possible. But listen, I think we should let's move on. I want to get sort of like your combined 11. I think I've got that ready. I've got that ready on the screen. But first of all, we'll start with mine and then we'll go on to your one, okay? So just maybe just post that up. So move this down here. Okay. It's on the screen. I don't know if can you see that? Can you see that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's my 11. So obviously Ray.
Please tell me you've not put Declan Rice in ahead of Rodri there.
Yes, I have.
Right. Listen, what was you smoking last night when you did that?
Bro, hella
You
confidence,
know that
bro.
Rodri's the best in the world in that.
Hella confidence. You said something earlier. You said if we go to the Etihad, we have to be brave. Yeah, and when that word comes to mind, he's the first player that actually crosses my mind. I associate Declan Rice with brave.
I wouldn't say he's brave. I think he's side to side,
No,
backwards.
no, 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 no. That's the label that people put on him. I think a
I've
lot of
seen it
people.
with. I went watching England in the Euros. He's exactly the same.
Yeah, but you also was talk about Gareth. Like that's a lot of Gareth's instructions. Like Declan to me is as I said, he's synonymous with the word brave to me. You know, I know it sounds crazy because Rodri
Listen, if
is,
Declan Rice was brave, you'd have won the league last season. You know that, yeah?
bro. If fucking Human Song was brave, we would have won the fucking league. But
Heung-min Son did everything right. You've got to give credit to the save, man.
nah. If he was, nah. I'm not having that. I'm not
You
having that.
can't rely on your title to Tottenham and Heung-min Son, mate. You need to do it yourself. This is why you paid £100 million for Rice.
Nah,
He
and
didn't
that's
get
why
you over
we
the line.
competed. You
He
could
didn't get
argue
you
that's where
over
we
the
got
line.
into the last season.
He
If
didn't get
if
you
we
over
had
the
Rice,
line.
if we had had Rice the season before, I think we would have won the league. But I'm
He
choosing.
didn't get you over the line, though.
Look at this. Look at this, Steve. Yeah, I'm taking everything on your left side, or most things on your left side, you're attacking. Yeah.
Nah,
And yeah,
you
that's
can't.
is that controversial? Is Rice the only thing that's bothering you in it?
No, there's a couple in there that I thought I was dreaming, but for me, you're going to get murdered if you play Kevin De Bruyne and Odegaard in the same team. So I would have Bernardo Silva instead of Odegaard because Odegaard ain't better than De Bruyne. So we don't need Odegaard's playmaking skills when we've got the best in the world. So I put Bernardo Silva in there for the energy. Rodri be in there instead of Rice because he's better than Rice. And Josko Gvardiol is better than Yuri and Timber all day and a week on Sundays.
I disagree. I was at the game. I was at the game last season, and your fans were slating Guardiola. Your fans were absolutely slating him.
Yeah,
I
not
was,
no more though. Not no more. He was finding his feet, man.
yeah, you can't find your feet that quick. So yeah, Timber goes in there. But tell me about Gabriel.
Yeah, yeah. Ruben Diaz is better than him.
You're saying that so easy.
It is so easy. Ruben Diaz has won 4 Premier Leagues on the bounce, a treble, European Cup. He's done everything. He's a monster.
And he's better.
Gabriel's new on the scene. You know what I mean? He's huffed and puffed and finished second. He's won now. But Saliba, I'll give you that. I think a Ruben Diaz Saliba partnership would be good. And I don't mind Ben White at right back because I feel like Kyle Walker, obviously one of the best players in the world at the time, but he's getting on now and he's declining. So mine would be
Let me get yours up. Let me get
go on.
yours up. Hold on. I'll get yours up. Let's get yours up. So that's yours. That's yours there. So you've got obviously Edison, and then you've gone for our right side over
Yeah,
sort of over yours. So you've got Saliba, White, and Saka. Then before you say anything, let's touch on something Pires said the other day. He said he would take Doku over, or some words to that effect, over Saka. Now
yeah,
on your combine here, you've put Saka in there.
yeah. Doku plays on the left for us, but yeah, Saka. I like Saka. Doku is very raw. I don't know what Perez is gauging that on, whether it's excitement. I do think Doku's a bit more exciting.
He said
But,
consistency. I think the word he said was consistency.
well,
Saka's
I
lacking
think that's hard for
consistency.
him to say because Doku doesn't play every week. City rotate, so I don't know what he's saying there. I know he's a legend and he's a great winger. So listen, he's obviously seen something. So we can't take the piss. But for me, I just think if I'm picking that team, I think that's balanced. I think Rodri in the middle, Bernardo for the energy, De Bruyne to play make, Foden on the left, Saka on the right, Ireland up front. I just prefer Josko to Timber. I think Timber has started promising last year, got that bad injury.
Yeah.
We haven't seen enough of him. He come from Ajax. I haven't seen enough of him
Do you
yet.
know? Arguably on my watch along for that game on Sunday, I thought he could have been man of the match. I mean, it
Oh, I
was
think he had a good game. Yeah, I
it
do
was
think he's a good player, but I've just got to see more of him. I feel like Josko is versatile. He's a centre back playing at left back. Last season, end of the season, he's scoring big goals in the Bernabeu. Going to games, Forest away when it's tricky, scoring. You know, he started adding goals to his game. Uh, Obviously, Ruben Diaz is what you see on the tin. Never say die. I feel like Ruben and Saliba would be fucking unbelievable, to be fair. And Ben White, like you say, I could have put Kyle in. I'm not going to
yeah,
put Rico in because he's too young, but
that's interesting. So you're taking White over. Earlier you talked about Ruben Diaz being decorated, being all the accolades, and then you've now
yeah, because Kyle Walker's
chosen
lost
White
his
over.
place. He's lost his place, to be fair. Rico Lewis is going to probably take it. So I just feel now. You asked me Kyle Walker 2 years ago. He's in every team for the last 8 years. But now, if I'm picking a team as a manager, I would go with that team. I just feel that team is perfect. You know what I mean?
And then, of course, yeah, you've got the big man. Just touching back, you're choosing Bernardo because of energy. Have you watched Odegaard play?
Yeah, he's good. But Bernardo Silva he's like a wasp. And I mean, late in games, he's on you like fuck. And like you say, he's running non-stop, non-stop. I've seen Odegaard affect the game. I have. I've also seen him fade in games. And listen, I go back to that old adjective at the end of the season when you need your big boys to step up to get you over the line. They don't do it. Declan Rice didn't do it. Odegaard didn't do it, and Saka didn't do it. So it's all right blowing smoke up their ass for 30 games, but the last 8 games, when you need them boys to turn up and drag you to the title, they're not there. The
Mm,
last 2 seasons, they've failed.
mm. I mean, I agree. I think experience plays a big part, and I think now is the time. I think we've learned from each season. We've sort of stepped it up and got to where we've got to, but just unfortunate. So have you stepped it up a notch yourselves. So what are you going with the score predictions?
Um, I'm going to say uh, 2-1 City. Very tight game.
2-1.
Yeah, very tight.
You're not gonna believe this. I've also gone 2-1 for the Arsenal. And
Well,
I
but
tell you, what, this is how I see it going. I see a hell of pressure, a barrage of pressure, but we see it through. We get that goal, like I said, and then we then get another goal on the counter because you played into our hands now. We hit you on the counter, get that second goal, and then something dumb will happen. You probably win a penalty, and yeah, it's 2-1, and then we hold on for the duration of the game, and 3 points back to London. That's how I see it going.
I can see us going 2-0 up, to be fair. And you scoring late and us holding on a little bit. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Are you going to the game?
I'm not too sure yet. I'm not too sure, but well, we'll see. I'm yet to plan out the journey. Yeah, I should have by now, but if I don't, I hope. Well, if I do, I'll see you there. If I don't, then we'll keep in touch. I'm sure.
I
But
seen you
Steve,
last time skulking out the ground. You remember?
shh. But yeah, Steve, listen, man, I won't hold you more anymore. Listen, I appreciate your
No
input again.
problem. No.
Thanks for coming on as usual. Listen, every time I've asked something of you, you have come through for me, man. So yeah, Big Steve, listen, I respect you, and I think majority of football fans who enjoy the game, who are fans of football, enjoy your opinion. I think I won't forget the thing you done with was Sky Sports or Lad Bible?
What, we Robbie?
Yeah, when you talked about you was
Lad Bible, yeah.
Barnsley to Bernabeu, was it Barnsley to Bernabeu?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think most fans can appreciate that sentiment, man. So it's always good to have you on, Big Steve, man.
No, listen, it's always good. I like to have a bit of banter with the Arsenal fans. I do like to throw the odd controversial one in there. But them that know me, in it, they like Turkish. You'll just say, "You've just said that, aren't you?" To rattle a few cages ago. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But when it comes to actual football
Yeah,
chat
yeah.
with Arsenal, I respect it. I enjoy the battle with it, and I'm just enjoying life as a City fan at the minute. It's not always going to be like this. There's going to be times where we're going to be in the mud, and I'm expecting it. But yeah, listen, we're
Actually, one. Let me ask you one last one before you go. Yeah, one last one. Pep Pep decides to leave at the end of the season. Is Arteta an option for you guys?
I mean, as a profiler's manager, yeah, 100%. I feel like he knows the club and that. But I don't think he'd leave Arsenal because I don't know if you've ever seen the video of when City are hammering Arsenal 5-0 or something at the Etihad, and he doesn't look pleased. And I respect that. That'd be me if I was working for someone and they were beating City. I'd be fucking fuming, mate.
Mm,
So, and I think if a club's in your heart, it's in your heart. So I don't know. I feel like City have got their eye on the Belgian in Germany at the minute. I feel like the 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 appointment of Vincent Company would be fantastic. But I know in Vincent Company and his family, he wouldn't take the job if he didn't think he can earn it. But looking at what he's doing at Bayern, and he's getting that big experience, and I don't know. I'd like, in an ideal world, I'd
mm.
like Pep Guardiola to sign another couple of year deal, get him to 10 years, and if Vincent's had 3 years at Bayern Munich doing what he's doing, and he's experienced Champions Leagues and all that pressure, slide into the Etihad job. But that's a fairy tale. But we'll see. We'll see.
Thank you very much, man. I just wanted to get that there. I won't really go into the 115 charges.
No comment.
Um,
No comment.
I won't go into that. But listen, bro, like, yeah, thanks for coming on, man. I hope to see you again.
Nice one, pal. Thank you.
Nice one, bro. Yes,
See you, mate.
people, thank you very much. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you put your comments below if you agree with some of the stuff Steve said, or even disagree with some of the stuff he said. Put your combined 11 in the chats. Let's go. Don't forget to hit the likes, man. We need the likes before you take your next breath. Hit that like button, man, because we need the algorithm gods on our sides. They've shunned me for a few years now, but the likes are like prayers to the algorithm gods. They go straight to them and they push me up. So let's try to get the Stricto Strict channel to 5K. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.